President Biden is considering invoking a decades-old federal statute to severely crack down on asylum claims at the southern border. Three people familiar with the plans tell CBS News the White House could cite the same law former President Trump used when he enforced a travel ban on predominantly Muslim countries. CBS News immigration reporter Camilo Montoya-Galvez joins me now because we always turn to Camilo when we need answers on these kinds of things. So, Camilo, what is the law we're talking about here?
Sure, John. So this is a sweeping immigration law dating back to 1952 that gives the president the power to suspend the entry of foreigners when he determines that their arrival will pose a detrimental impact on the country. The Trump administration used this authority several times, including, as you just underscored, to issue that travel ban against certain migrants from certain countries, most of them predominantly Muslim. He also used that law to suspend legal immigration during the COVID-19 pandemic, arguing that the arrival of more migrants during the recovery from the pandemic would hurt U.S. workers. The president now, President Biden, I'm told, is seriously considering using this same law to say that the asylum system is massively overwhelmed and backlogged, and that the U.S. cannot adequately and quickly process all of the claims from everyone who's coming to the border, and that will allow U.S. border officials to disqualify most migrants from asylum and make it easier for the government to deport them.
So he would be basically declaring a detrimental impact.
That's right.
Why didn't he do it before?
Well, this is a president who ran a campaign in 2020 vowing to restore the U.S. asylum system and to reject the Trump-era policies that he said caused a lot of human suffering and that contravened the nation's values. He has obviously now staged a pretty significant pivot on immigration because of the record levels of migration that we have seen along the U.S.-Mexico border over the past 3 years, and also the growing discontent in cities like here in New York City, Chicago, and Denver that have really struggled, John, to house migrants who are destitute, who don't have ties to the U.S., and who cannot legally work.
Speaker Johnson says President Biden could do this by executive action. It sounds like he's right.
In this case, yes. The problem is that this will almost certainly garner legal lawsuits, and so whether or not the president can actually implement this is still an open question. In 2018, the Trump administration tried a similar policy invoking this authority known as 212F to shut down asylum in between ports of entry, but that was blocked due to a lawsuit from the ACLU. It is very much likely that the ACLU will sue the government again if President Biden moves forward with this.
Which a president in a political year trying to show he's doing something, probably a lawsuit wouldn't be bad for him in the sense of the public relations part. Let me ask you about the logistical part here, though. How would what would this require in terms of keeping 212F, putting it into place?
Well, apart from the legal challenges, this would almost certainly also face formidable operational challenges and hurdles. And that is because while you can disqualify all the migrants who are coming to the border from asylum, the U.S. still has to process them, vet them for public safety and national security concerns, and they're still going to be eligible for certain benefits that we're not going to outline here, but that are available under U.S. law beyond asylum. And so you need detention space for that, John. You need asylum officers, John. You need Border Patrol agents, and you need time. The U.S. right now does not have enough of any of that right now. Right. And the Biden administration has asked Congress for more money to hire additional agents, to hire additional judges, to hire additional immigration judges, and to increase detention space. But Republicans in Congress have rejected that request.
Camilo Montoya-Galvez, always with the facts. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Of course.